Hi, Faith. I just want to go through a few things from your Sig Fig assignment to help you out a little bit. I apologize in advance. I have a bit of a bad case of hiccups right now, so I'll try not to hiccup, but okay. You have done pretty well with section number 1. The aspect that is tripping you up a little bit is questions like number 9. So this is when you have the Sig Fig rule that has 2 conditions. First condition is there has to be a decimal place, which there is in this case, but there's one more condition. The zeros have to come after a digit between 1 to 9. All of these zeros that are appearing beforehand here, they're not going to count because there is no number between 1 and 9 before them. We're not going to start counting sig figs until the number 2. So this has 1, 2, 3 sig figs. Another example of this is going to be question number 17. You have 3 zeros in front of the number 2. We're not going to count them because the rule is those zeros have to come after a digit between 1 and 9, plus there needs to be a decimal place involved. These 2 zeros will count because they fulfill both conditions. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4 sig figs. The other part is the scientific notation. When you're doing sig figs with a number like this one here, we're only looking at this. We're not looking at the rest of it for the sig fig part. So this only has 1, 2, 3 sig figs. Down here, don't worry about this when you're counting sig figs. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 sig figs. Okay. When you're doing the mathematical calculations, all your answers have to follow the Sig Fig rules that we talked about. So you might want to refer to your Sig Fig cheat sheet when you do this. For example, question number 1, there's no digits after the decimal place here. With this one, there's 2 Sig Figs after the decimal place here. Here, there are 3 sig figs. The rule is you have to go with the lowest number of sig figs after the decimal place, which in this case, there is none. You have written down that the calculated answer is 20. However, there is a decimal place right here that you need to honor because this number is a 0. If you don't put that decimal place in, it makes it look like this only has 1 sig fig, but this 20 is actually significant because 12 had 2 digits of measurement. Question number 2, you have the answer 0.287. That's too many sig figs. Here's why. Just erase this. This has 2 sig figs after, this has 2 sig figs after, and this has 2 sig figs after. So you don't get that digit. You actually have to have 2 sig figs. Because the number after the 8 is greater than 5, you have to round that 8 to a 9. In question number 3, you have too many sig figs. The answer that you've reported is 14.38293. If we take a look at the numbers that we started with, you have 3 sig figs here, 3 sig figs here, 4 sig figs here, and 2 sig figs there. That means that after the decimal place, you only get 2 significant figures. You don't get to use those. Most of what is incorrect in the additional section, part 2, is not using significant figures. The exception to that is question number 8. You have translated these numbers into long form notation. If you have a negative exponent, the number is less than 1. So you've translated this number into 1.800000. This is actually 0.000018. Here's a way to deal with this in your calculator and make your calculator do the work for you. We're going to use the EXP or the EE button on your calculator. If I remember correctly from when we worked together, it's EXP. So what you're going to do is go 1.8 EXP 5, and then you're probably going to have to hit the plus negative button to make this 5 a negative 5. Then add 3.25 EXP 4, and then again hit that positive negative button in order to make it a negative 4, plus 4.6 exponent 5, hit that plus negative button so that you get an exponent negative 5. So that's going to lead you to a very different answer than the one that you reported, because all of these numbers are far less than what you translated them into. Question number 10. You've changed a number like this into 2.300. This is not about adding zeros to the existing number, it's about moving the decimal place. So really what this is telling you is 2.3 times 100, because 10 exponent 2 is 100. That's actually 2300, not 2.300. Again, use your EXP key to help you out. Ready? Oh. Sorry about that. Okay, 2.3 EXP 2, add 4.62 EXP 2, plus 3.85 EXP 2, and then press the equals button, and again you're going to get a very different number than the calculator answer that you received. The addition and the subtraction rules are the same. You always look to see how many digits are behind the decimal place. That becomes the number of digits that you can put behind the decimal place in your reported answer. Multiplication and division follow a different set of rules. You need to look at total sig figs in a number in order to come up with how many sig figs you get in your answer. For example, 2.89 has 3 sig figs, 4.01 has 3 sig figs. You've reported a number of 11.5889. You only get 3 sig figs in total. It's actually going to be 11.6. The reason why this is 11.6 is because the next number is higher than 5, so you have to round that up. In question number 2, 3 sig figs is 17.3. 2 sig figs is 6.2. That means that you only get 2 sig figs in your final answer. The final answer that you reported is 107 0.26, you actually only get 2 digits. You can't report this as 11 because that's incorrect. If I owed you $107 and I gave you 11, you would not be happy with me. We can do one of two things. We can add a 0 and not put a decimal place. That still has only 2 sig figs. Or we could take that number and report it as scientific notation. So most of your work in Section 4 and Section 5, you still have to do the correct number sig figs. The calculated answer is correct. Watch out for questions like this that has scientific notation embedded into it. Use your EXP key. Make that calculator do the work for you. Let me know if this video is helpful and if you need any more support. Thank you.